never forget my experience watching No Country, because the trailers were somewhat vague. You didn't really know what the kind of story was about. And then to watch it, it was like so visceral, and it was so raw and rugged. And it breaks all kinds of, narrative rules. And in a lot of ways, the bad guy wins. And then you're this lead who gets killed off screen. I mean, I'm sorry for spoiling this movie for anybody, but it was just like unlike anything I had seen before. And it's still one of my all-time favorite movies. After you agreed to it, did you know it was something special, or when did you realize sort of what you guys were coming up with?
Just to be clear, I didn't agree to it. I auditioned for it and I didn't get it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was doing Grindhouse and I was told, yeah, I like Grindhouse a lot. Robert's the best. But who's from San Antonio, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
So, yeah, I asked Robert, because Robert was always carrying around a camera, and I said, I have to do this audition for this thing, No Country for Old Men, that Sam Shepard had told me about the book, and then I heard they were making it into a movie, and I got to audition a couple of scenes. And I said, can you film me doing it? And he said, well, why don't we just use the Genesis camera that we have, which is $1 million camera that we were using for the movie. So it's the most beautiful audition of all time. And I've told this story a million times, but I auditioned, Quentin was there, and Quentin was telling me, like giving me line readings, some I was taking, some I wasn't. And then we sent it to the Coens, and the Coens' response was, who lit it? And that was it. Never even mentioned me. And so I didn't get it. And then they were frustrated in not being able to find it. Everybody wanted to do that role. And they couldn't get who they felt was the right person. So my agent very luckily got Ethan Coen's phone number and begged him. Will you see, because they knew it was the last audition, they were having a couple of guys come in. And I came from Santa Barbara to LA. I bought a hat at Boot Barn on the way down, scraped it on the parking lot asphalt, showed up, sat in the hallway, my hat down, not looking at anybody. And there was a guy that came out with the Coens after his audition, and they were all laughing together. And I thought, well, I forget it, that's never gonna happen. I'm not getting this role. So I went in there, I did a couple of scenes, they stared at me, Joel Coen stared at me, never reacted. Ethan was talking and he said, that was really good. Can you do a West Texas accent? I said, I was. And he goes, oh, okay, good.
You're hired.
Good. No, he didn't say you're hired. Okay, good. Anyway, so I left and I didn't get the role, but I was really happy to be able to meet them. And they called me at noon that day and they said, would you be interested in playing Llewellyn in our film? I was like, hold on a second, let me check. Yes. And it was a really, I think since the Goonies, there were a couple movies in there in between, but I think since the Goonies, it was a very, very special experience. And no, that feeling did not exist on the film. Ever.
Wow.
We had a very, very good time. There were people at the top of their game, Roger Deakins, who was shooting it, who's amazing. And we just all had a really good time. Javier was super depressed because of his haircut, and, he's wearing 100 SPF because he had this idea that he didn't want any sun on his face, and holding umbrellas over him between takes and all that, just super depressed, wouldn't go out. I took him out a couple of times. Like, you gotta loosen up, do some karaoke. Imagine Shigor doing karaoke, pretty fun. And then
that sounds terrifying, by the way.
And then I saw it with my son. My son was 16 at the time, he's 36 now, and 16 or 17. And we didn't say anything in the car for 15 or 20 minutes, like literally silence. I wasn't watching me, I was watching this experience. It was really, it's still special.
I think that's when you know it's like something extremely special, is that silence. Because when has that happened in my life? walking out of Infinity War.